Hi everyone and welcome to week 4. We are now entering our second module of the course, which means that by end of day tonight, Monday, you will be submitting your first signature assignment, the education narrative, voice narrative presentation. And now in week 4, we're going to start for the next 3 weeks working on our second signature assignment. Pretty excited about that. I don't know if you will be as enthralled as I am. I am actually an APA copy editor, so I love working with APA style and research and editing and all that stuff. But for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be working on a central essential skill to graduate level research and writing, and that is creating an annotated bibliography, evaluating source material, and documenting it, critically analyzing it, and using APA style. So I wanted to start here on the home page because I updated the quote, and I'll try to do that, I'm thinking, at the beginning of each new module to kind of represent what we're going to be working on for that section of the course. So the reason I chose this Einstein quote, "Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters," is because one of the things you'll be doing over the next 3 weeks is not just locating source material of different types, peer-reviewed research articles and popular news sources, things like that, for a specific topic or problem or issue of your choice, but you're going to learn strategies and techniques for being a critical consumer of information. You already have a lot of those skills already as adult learners, but it's vetting sources is very important. So just because you find a peer-reviewed research article does not mean that it really meets the needs of what your purpose is. For example, even with a peer-reviewed article, especially with popular news sources or videos or things like that, you're going to want to consider trustworthiness, meaning what methods were used, how were data collected, how were they analyzed, what is the source? What is their positionality? Meaning, are they a researcher at that institution? Are they leaning far one way and the other with their bias? Stuff like that. So, everything we talk about now, specifically in the political arena, just being a critical consumer of information, is going to be applied now to any research that you're going to be using for this assignment, and then moving forward in your MED career here in your program. So I just wanted to point out that I did change this, and that's why. Because if you look at a piece of source material that you found and you find a small error or two, right? That might not seem like a big deal to you, but if you have small questions of trustworthiness, that calls into question the entire credibility of the piece, and then I might move on and try to find something else. Because if you can't trust the reporter or the researcher in the small fine details, it's kind of difficult to trust the overall picture that they're trying to present. And there's typically going to be a lot better source material out there that is trustworthy, so it's important to cherry pick. So I'm going to go over here to modules and scooch down here to week 4. Now you're in my instructor view, so it might look a little bit different, right? So here we're going to start this week with week 4. Before we do that, though, I'm going to tell you the first thing I recommend doing, always, so you know the end game, is go down to week 6 and click on the annotated bibliography assignment. And just take a look at what you're going to be submitting in week 6, so you know kind of, again, what I always like to have the end game in mind, I guess is what I'm saying, while I'm working. So your annotated bibliography assignment is pretty straightforward. You have a lot of flexibility on this. What you'll be doing is choosing a current issue, a problem, or a hot topic in the field. The stress is on current. You want to make sure that it's something that is pressing and happening right now. And it doesn't necessarily have to have been happening pervasively for a long time, but it has to be current. And basically, I just want to make sure it interests you. Choose something that you're passionate about. And for this assignment, you'll be locating 6 different sources, one for each of the types that you can see below. And I have them listed. And those sources, the key is that they should inform your issue, issue, problem, or hot topic. I'm calling it your IPT. So yeah, basically that's that. Sometimes you'll find a source that doesn't speak absolutely directly, you might not think, to your problem, issue, or hot topic. But what it will do is maybe speak to a dimension of it. It might not speak to it all, that it'll speak to a certain dimension, and that's okay, right? So all 6 sources are going to speak to that same topic that you choose, and each annotation should be in total about 300 to 400 words. So that's not per part. So of the 3 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, each of those shouldn't be 300 to 400 words. The entire annotation should be about 300 to 400 words. So here are the different source types that you're going to want to look for. And I also have provided a template. Now, this is to help you learn APA 7. That's going to be a skill that we're going to be learning over the next few weeks and employing for the rest of the term. APA 7th, we just started using this fall, and you absolutely, unequivocally have to have the Houghton and Houghton guide. If you haven't purchased it yet, you need to purchase that immediately. It's on Amazon Prime. It's like $10, $11, no more than that. So make sure you have that. That is the best, tiny, thin, but incredibly succinct, accurate, wonderful little guide. It is my sidekick. I live and breathe by that. So get that guide. Don't even worry about the huge, thick APA 7th book. I very, very rarely use it. And if you do have to use it, you can reach out to me and I can always help you with something. But that's going to be of great help to you. So what I did is I went ahead and I created a template for this assignment. I already pre-formatted it in APA 7th with basically for you, it's fill in the blank. The reason I did that is to sort of kick you off in seeing what an APA 7th formatted paper would look like. And I thought it might be nice for you to have this template so that moving forward, if you have any written assignments in the program, you can save this as a template on your computer and just copy it forward, and it's already all set for you with 1/2-inch margins, Times New Roman 12 point as a default. You'll know where to put, how to format your headings, how to do your title page, you insert pagination is already there, all that stuff. I've already kind of taken the legwork out of that for you. So that's my little gift to you. Save that as a template on your computer. I think it'll be really helpful moving forward. And then in your final submission that you'll have looking beautiful with that template, it has to comply with APA 7th and no spelling, no grammar, no other editing issues. We will have a peer review opportunity to make sure that that's the case, but attention to details is important. Again, you can't be trusted in the big matters if you can't be trusted in the small matters, right? So at the graduate level, it is critically important to make sure that your writing doesn't have any editing or grammar or APA issues. If you're going to be doing the peer review, have someone else. Often you can't recognize your own errors. So have someone at work or somebody else, at least 2 to 3 sets of eyes, looking at this before you submit the assignment. And that's just good practice, but also, you know what? You want to get a good grade too. Let's face it. And you will if you follow those guidelines, okay? So I'm going to go over here to modules and shoot ahead again to week 4. And so just very quickly, these are the skills we're going to be working on this week. And again, it's just about being a critical consumer. It's about being able to look at specific source material and knowing what makes it trustworthy, basically knowing what to look for, knowing what makes it reliable and credible. We now in the Academy use the word trustworthiness instead of reliability, validity, and credibility to encompass all of those things, right? But basically, we're going to be working this week on just preliminary developing academic research strategies. So here are your materials. We have prepared with Lindley Hummel. Lindley Hummel is the education librarian at Northeastern, meaning she is specifically geared towards folks in the Graduate School of Education. And she went ahead and, we have spoken about what the needs are for this course. This lovely woman prepared 3 interactive tutorials here, just a library orientation, recognizing peer-reviewed articles, and how to recognize a research article specifically. So these tutorials are going to be critical for you to complete before doing anything else. So once you reviewed the ANBIB assignment, you're going to want to review these. And then I've just provided some source material here that you're going to want to be reviewing, some strategies for research strategies. What kind of article do I need? Stuff like that. I've also, in addition to the Houghton and Houghton and the sections of that book that I want you to be reviewing, I also provided the link to the Purdue Online Writing Lab. That's going to be important because anytime you just if you don't have your handbook with you or something like that, that's a really good place to go and look for what you need to do for a source citation. And I have Lindley's contact information down here because she is just an absolute gem. And if you reach out to her, she can help you in a pinch anytime. If you're struggling to find source material on a specific topic or problem, reach out to her and she can help you, no problem. She's absolutely fantastic. Some of you might not have heard of this before. This is my favorite. It's called the CRAP test. And basically, this is one of the main things we'll be paying attention to this week. It's just an exercise for evaluating source credibility. And that leads me to the discussion board activity. Oh, I take it back. This is the spot the troll exercise. That's actually pretty fun. So I'll have you do that as well. And then, okay, so this is the discussion board activity. So basically what you're going to do is any problem, issue, or hot topic in the field that you're interested in, can be anything as long as it's related to the field of education. The first thing you're going to want to do is, in addition to it being anything you like, you want to make sure that there is ample source material for it. So for example, you might want to play with your keywords a little bit, or you can contact Lindley for if you need preliminary help. But if you can't find really any source material related to one dimension or one aspect of your problem, you might want to choose a different one that has more current research on it, right? Because the last thing I want you to do is have something you're really passionate and interested in, but you can't find anything for it, and you spend the next 3 weeks absolutely frustrated out of your mind, not being able to find stuff. And then at the last minute, you have to switch your topic. You don't want to go down that road. Okay, so let's be preemptive in that, and this week make sure you can find a decent amount of material for it. And so for this week, you're just going to locate one scholarly and one non-scholarly source for your problem and put each of them to the CRAP test. And there are resources to tell you basically what that is, step by step. And you'll do this until you have 2 sources, one of each type here, that pass this test. And that tells you that they are trustworthy sources because you've put them through a critical consumer test. And then by Thursday, you're just going to post basically everything it says here. And I'm going to ask that you do that just to change things up a little bit. I'll have you do that in a series of, it can be PowerPoint slides or some other visual like that. I'm thinking perhaps 1 slide per example here, per bulleted list here. And you can post your discussion board post will be just posting your slides, no voice or anything like that, just a visual. And that way you can embed your hyperlinks and things like that right into the PowerPoint slides. But it's basically just going through your process of how you found it, what keywords you used. Keywords can be difficult. You have to find that just the right words to use, and you want to play with them. Try using more, try using less, try using specific descriptors. There's kind of that money spot for being just specific enough, but not too specific. And that's a learned skill that I still struggle with. My colleagues at our level still struggle with this. So that's not just a you problem. That's a pervasive problem, is finding just the right keywords. So that's something you end up having to play with. But at the end of your post where you put your slides, just post a question to your classmates about the process you just engaged in. And that'll be on the last slide, right? So that is in an effort to sort of turn what could otherwise be a little bit more kind of like a dry exercise into something that hopefully will get your classmates more engaged in the conversation, right? And then when you're responding by Sunday with tips or whatever, I encourage you to do that in a video response if you want to, or you could come back with a slide. So do your response. It doesn't need to be written in any medium of your choice. I will suggest either a video that you try making in Studio or Panopto, whatever, your webcam on your computer. You can use whatever you want, but just try to find maybe an alternative or creative approach for responding to your classmates, just so we can change things up a little bit. But that's it for this week. I'm really looking forward to reviewing your education narrative presentations. That is one of my most favorite things to do in this course, because it really helps me get to know you on a different level than just your introductions. Yeah, so we're embarking on a new project starting today, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. I am an APA geek, so please feel free to reach out to me anytime you want for help or counsel, and we'll do it up. Take care.